Ay, yun. Ito yung pagkakaya.
Cut lang ako.
Diyan, ito din. Sasend ko sa'yo. Send ko sa'yo.
Saan?
Eh, ano na? Oo.
Kay Joshua, dun sa taas. Papag-print din ako.
Push and send. Ay, afternoon po.
Yes po. Yes po, Director. Director Marge and ASEC Malian po. Yes po. Pero si ASEC po, nag-advise kanina yung EA niya, baka daw po pag-online. Ang leader po yan. Assignments. Private po, sir. Private na primers.
Eh, dito ko na lang ito.
Saya.
Hard po or sa positive po. Sige po. Sige ma'am. Mamaya po lang po.
Kasi yung
Ako na lang po pag ganito. 'Di ba? 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 ' Habol dyan.
Ah, sige po. Iya, pumunta rin sa mga
Habol doon si Ate.
Ibisahan po namin.
Online na sila.
Nahabol daw po si Ate.
Sige po, yan. Pero, ibisahan po. Ibisahan po. Para pa-prepare po siya.
Pero may episode siya. May episode siya.
Add mo nga kami sa stadium. Ito pala sa online.
From Mawa.
Ha?
Galing ako ng SMX.
Galing ka doon. Nakakaya siya sa budget.
At least natapos ko yung ano ko doon. Kaya sige.
Yung role ko doon.
Oo.
Ako.
Sabi ko hindi na ako babalik mamaya. Ang sakit sa ulo yung traffic.
And then on call tayo.
Ha?
On call ba tayo?
Oo. Para sa budget hearing?
Para sa budget.
Yata. Di ba nandyan sila?
Oo, well, kinapusan niya. 2 o'clock, and then so I suppose,
Wala na. Oo. Sana naman hindi na.
were you supposed to enjoy the 4-day holiday?
Sabi ko, hindi na natin na-enjoy yung holiday. Pinagbayad na tayo ng 6,000. Tapos hindi ka rin naman mapakadito kasi tawag dito tawag ko. So, wala.
Yeah, ako yung after that, uuwi na. Ang dami, ito dapat ito.
Kaya nga, oo.
Carrot. Carrot.
Room for maliit na.
Anong susunod?
Ako ba yun, ano? Yun?
Yes po, si asset po kasi susunod daw.
Okay, so wait.
Wala pa po tayo for we're just waiting for Mag-Divine and the end user po, surface.
Surprise na nag-okay.
Kasi namin ginagawa ko. Tawag niya yung end user.
On the way na.
Oh!
Papunta na.
I don't think.
Director, we have a forum.
Yes, we proceed. Okay, Daniel.
Okay po. Welcome to the Prebid Conference for printing and delivery of primers for key stage assessments in the national level. Before we start po, let us pray. Lord,
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour, asking for your blessing, and help us as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand, and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther. We, to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Okay. Okay. So, good afternoon to everyone. Uh, so, my name is Christian Militero. I'm the Vice Chair. So, I'm calling this meeting printed on the printing and delivery of drivers for state assessment in the national level in order. So, as the forum, Secretary, kindly certain.
we have the attendees po. We have our provisional member, Miss Divina.
Good afternoon po, everyone.
And we have our regular member, Director Margarita Concepcion Basteros. Okay po. And yes po, Director, we have a quorum and the back secretariat is now ready to take the minutes of this meeting. And as for the end user and TWG, we have Sir Percival Gonzalez. And for the bidder, we have the representative for Cymex Delivery Express Inc., Miss Amita Pepe.
Okay, as it is certified by the Secretary and we have a quorum, so we can proceed to the business on hand.
As for the observers po, we invited through letter dated August 17, 2023, the Commission on Audit, NAMPREL, Ansayayang Foundation Inc., Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and GWatch, and civil society organizations. Unfortunately po, no one has attended for the observers. And for the project information, we have the end user, the Bureau of Education Assessment Division, BEA-EAD, with the source of funds of the project is 2022 NASBE Continuing Funds. The date of advertisement and posting of invitation to bid is August 11, 2023. It is posted on PhilJEP's DepEd website, Facebook, and DepEd bulletin board. For the Prebid Conference, the purpose of the Prebid Conference is to clarify and address the bidders' questions on the different aspects of the procurement at hand, for bidders to fully understand the requirements. Note that any statement issued shall not notify the terms unless in writing and issued through supplemental bulletin. And for the approved budget for the contract, we have two lots. For the first lot is the primer for ELNA, the quantity is 41,000, and the primer for not grade 6, the quantity of also 41,000, and the primer for not grade 10 with a quantity of 13,000 copies, and for the primers for not grade 12, the 12,000 copies. With the approved budget for the contract, with a total of 3,479,277.80. And for the lot number 2 is the delivery of primers with a total quantity of 107,000, and for the approved budget for the contract is 2,496,470 with a total ABC of 5,975,694.80. And for the project information, the start of issuance of the bidding documents is August 11, 2023. And for the cost is for lot 1 is 5,900, and for lot 2 is 4,100. The total of 10,000. The bidding documents may be downloaded at the following websites: https://buildjeps.gov.ph and www.deped.gov.ph. Okay. For the salient points of the bidding documents and for the invitation to bid and instruction to bidders. Prospective bidders should have completed within a period of 5 years immediately preceding the deadline for submission of bids. The single largest completed contract, SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid and the value of which adjusted, if necessary, by the bidder to current prices using the Philippine Statistics Authority (PSA's) Consumers Price Index (CPI) must be at least 50% of the ABC of the lot to be bid for. For the purpose and track record of requirements, contract similar to the project shall refer to for your lot 1 is printing of test materials, and for lot 2 is delivery of printed documents. For this purpose, the similar contract should have at least completed within a period of 5 years, immediately preceding the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. And for the subcontracting shall not be allowed. For the request for clarifications for an interpretation must be in writing and submitted at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bid. And the procuring entity addresses is ASEC Noel T. Baluyan. Consistent with the section 22.5.3 of the revised IRR of RA 9184, posting on the PhilJeps and the procuring entity's website of any supplemental bid bulletin shall be considered sufficient notice to all bidders or parties concerned. Documents comprising the bid eligibility and technical components. A list of machines and equipment including its capacity, estimated outputs per day to be used for the project. And B, certificate of paper test result from the Forest Products Research and Development Institute, FPRDI, or the manufacturer of paper, which must be issued within 3 months prior to the date of the deadline for the submission and opening of bids for this project. In case the certificate is from the manufacturer of paper, the same shall secure a certificate from FPRDI. Any paper attributes that FPRDI cannot process must also be a certificate that states that their incapability to proceed, detailed as follows. For the paper requirements is with negative 2% paper tolerance. And for the cover is C2S 220 pounds or 325 GSM with matte lamentation. Inside pages is matte 100 pounds or 148 GSM. And for the color is full color.
For the instructions to readers, BDS IDP Clause 11, page 90. Documents comprising the bid financial component. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial documents for the bid, and the bid form and price schedule shall be per lot as prescribed in the forms provided herein. The price of the goods shall be quoted BDP or the Deped Central Office, Regional Offices, and Schools Division Offices, or the applicable international commercial terms or Incoterms for this project. Bid prices should be written in 2 decimal places only. Bid prices that are written in more than 2 decimal places shall be rounded off. Results of bid evaluation that will exceed the APC shall be a ground for rejection of the bid. The bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. For lot number 1, primer for ELNA, primer for ELNA, primer for NAT grade 6, primer for NAT grade 10, primer for NAT grade 12. The cost breakdown of the approved budget for the contract is 3,479,277.80. And for lot 2, delivery of primers, 2,496,470. Bid securities other than a bid securing declaration shall be turned over to the Deped Cash Division for custody. The bid securing declaration shall be under the custody of the Bank Secretariat. Bid security shall not contain any deletion, crossing out, expansion, or any form of correction. Otherwise, Deped may reject such security if any such intercalation, superimposition, or alteration affects any material information of or feature of the document. Prospective bidders shall enclose their original eligibility and technical documents in a sealed envelope marked as original technical proposal. Copies thereof shall be similarly sealed in envelopes marked as copy number 1, technical proposal, and copy number 2, technical proposal. In addition, the USB flash drive containing the soft copy of the original eligibility and technical documents shall be submitted and marked as USB flash drive. The said envelopes containing the original SP and the copies in the flash drive shall then be enclosed in one single envelope marked as technical proposal. When enclosed in one single envelope marked as technical proposal, on the other hand, the original of their financial document should be enclosed in another sealed envelope marked as original financial proposal. Copies thereof shall be similarly sealed in envelope marked as copy number 1, financial proposal, and copy number 2, financial proposal. The USB flash drive containing the soft copy of the original financial document shall be submitted and marked as USB flash drive. The said envelope containing the original copies and the flash drive shall then be enclosed in one single envelope marked as financial proposal. Further, the envelopes marked as technical proposal and financial proposal shall be enclosed and or sealed in an outer envelope marked as mother envelope. Please see the illustration number 1. Any discrepancies that meet the hard copy or paper copies, and the copies contained and as presented in the USB flash drive, the hard paper copies will prevail. Original copies of the Class A eligibility legal documents such as the SEC, DTI, SEC DTI, or the CDA registration certificate and the bearer's permit may not be submitted on the date and the time of the bid submission. However, the bidder must be able to present such original copies during post-qualification on demand by the bank or its authorized representative for validation. To facilitate the receipt and classification of bid envelopes, mother envelope shall be red, the inner envelope containing technical proposal shall be blue, the inner envelope containing financial proposal shall be green, and the post-qualification documents shall be brown. Post-qualification documents may be submitted during the bidding, but this does not disqualify bidders who will not submit post-qualification documents during bid submission. Note, each bidder shall submit 3 paper copies, 1 original and 2 copies of its bid and 2 USB flash drive electronic copies on 1 technical component and 1 financial component. The e-copy of the price schedule must be in the form of Excel and PDF. And sealed or unmarked bid envelopes should be rejected. However, bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked as required in the bidding document should be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such document as such condition of the bid as submitted. The bank shall assume no responsibility for the misplace of the content of the improperly sealed or marked bid, or for its premature opening. Online submission of bids is not allowed. The project shall be awarded by lot. For lot 1, the
And to continue po, the project shall be awarded by lot details as follows. The illustration is included in the bidding documents, page 20 to 21. And for the computation of the prospective bidders for the NFCC must be equal to the ABC to be calculated as follows. For the NFCC is current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started. And in any case, the NFCC computation or committed line of credit must be sufficient for all lots or contracts. The NFCC computation shall be in accordance with the prescribed form. And for the within non-extendable period of 5 calendar days from the receipt by the bidder of the notice from the bank that it submitted the LCB, the bidder shall submit the following requirements. A. Latest income and business tax returns, printed copies of the electronically filed income tax and business tax returns with copies of their respective payment confirmation form for the immediately preceding calendar tax year from the authorized agent bank. Only tax returns filed and tax paid through the BIR electronic filing and payment systems EFPS shall be accepted. Note, the latest income and business tax returns are those within the last 6 months preceding the date of the bid submission. For additional requirements for lot number 1, letters specifying exact location of plant and warehouse to be used for the project. List of printing, stitching, packaging, and labeling machines or equipment in excellent running condition to be used for the project. Samples of packaging materials, 2-ply boxes, double wall, 350 pounds, plastic bags, each 3, pallet stretch film, plastic wire straps, clear tape, and packaging tape. And for lot number 2, letters specifying the main office addresses of the bidder, forwarder, and enumerating their branches, offices, outlets with addresses nationwide. And list of vehicles, whether owned, leased, or rented, or legally in possession together with proof of ownership, contract of lease rental, or contract of unsurfract or Space Navy. Other appropriate licenses and permit required by the law and stated in the BDS, in the bid docs. During post-qualification, upon demand by the BAC or its representatives, a bidder with the lowest calculated bid shall be able to present and submit the following: documents to verify or support its statement of ongoing and/or statement identifying its single largest completed contract, which may consist of the following: appropriate and clear duly signed contracts, purchase orders, agreements, notice of award, job orders, or notices to proceed, which the corresponding duly signed certificate of completion, delivery receipts, inspection, and acceptance reports, certificate of final acceptance, or official receipt. B. For validation purposes, the original copy Class A eligibility documents. And for during post-qualification, the compliance of the goods offered with the required specified in this bidding document shall be determined, including the following. Acknowledging the presence of our back chair, Asek Noel Tibalina. Good afternoon po. As per section 34.3, for the verification of availability and commitment and/or inspection and testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment units to be owned, leased, under purchased by the bidder for use in the contract under bidding, as well as checking the performance of the bidder in its ongoing government and private contracts. If any of these ongoing contract shows a negative slippage of at least 15% in any one project or negative slippage of at least 10% in each two or more contracts.
For number two, as per section 34.3, three items A to C or of the IRR or RA 9184, verification and/or inspection and testing of the goods product, after sale and or maintenance capabilities. In applicable cases, as well as checking the following. A. Delay in the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. B. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all of the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension thereof, granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the contract price. Or letter C, unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligation as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the bank verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the bank shall disqualify the bidder from the award for the procurement of goods. In case of foreign bidders, a certificate of authentication from the Department of Foreign Affairs shall be required for each document submitted. For example, the Class A documents or its equivalent that are written in foreign language, translated to English and duly authenticated with appropriate Philippine Foreign Service establishment, post or the equivalent office having jurisdiction over the foreign bidders' affairs in the Philippines. To facilitate post-qualification, the bidder at its option may submit in advance, example on the deadline for submission and receipt of bids, above requirements and other documents required in Section 2, ITB Clause number 20.1. The envelope shall be placed in brown envelope and marked. For ITB 20.1 documents, I'm showing here the illustration, name of project, bid opening date, name of bidder. Failure to submit above requirements within the required time frame or in finding against the veracity of any such documents or other documents submitted for the project shall be a ground for disqualification of the bidder for the award and the enforcement of the bid securing declaration. For GCC Clause 2.2, page 31 of the bidding documents, schedule of payment. The method and condition of payment to be made to the supplier through the government disbursement procedure within 60 days after the date of acceptance of goods at the project site and upon submission of documents under this contract shall be as follows. The suppliers may make a request for payment based on the progress reports, which shall be attached to the progress billing and include the following. Number one, actual quantity of the goods delivered based on the schedule of delivery and other relevant terms and conditions of the contract. Two, duly signed delivery receipts. Number three, duly signed inspection and acceptance reports, including certification by supplier as approved by the duly authorized DepEd representative that the goods have been delivered and or properly installed and commissioned in accordance with the contract. For other documents in support of a request for payment may be required by them and pursuant to existing disbursement, accounting, and auditing rules and procedures. Payment schedule for lot number one. 100% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon completion of printing, packaging, and labeling of primers. For lot number two, 100% of the contract price shall be paid to the supplier upon complete delivery of primers. Note, the supplier must furnish a copy of the above mentioned documents to them and accounting and other end users, and the end user, or of Bureau Education Assessment Division, via EAD, and the Contract Management Division of the Procurement Service Central Office. Payment should be subject to the warranty provision in the form of either retention money in an amount equivalent to 5% of every progress payment or the contract price, or a special bank guarantee in the amount equivalent to 5% of the contract price as provided under Section 62.1 of RA 9184 and its revised IRR. Release of retention money shall be at the expiration of the warranty period, or the remaining amount in case it has been utilized pursuant to the warranty provision. The performance security shall be posted in favor of DepEd and shall be forfeited in the event it is established that the supplier is in default of any of its obligation under the contract. The supplier shall be responsible for the extension of its performance security and or renewal of its performance security whenever necessary and without need of prior notice or instruction from DepEd. To ensure that it is in force and effect for the whole duration of the contract, delivery period, and until a certificate of final acceptance is duly issued. Performance security shall not contain any deletion, crossing out, expansion, or any form of correction. Otherwise, DepEd may reject such security if any such intercalation, superimposition, or alteration affect any material information or feature of the documents.
For the inspection, pursuant to DepEd Order 041, Section 2021, inspection or pre-delivery inspection (PDI), where applicable for goods to be delivered, shall be conducted by DepEd through the duly designated incorporate team. The inspection or PDI shall be made upon the notice to the DepEd by the readiness of the goods for inspection. The supplier shall coordinate with DepEd through the Procurement Management Service Contract Management Division, (PROMSCMD), on the conduct of inspection or pre-delivery inspection (PDI). Any request for inspection shall be done in writing and contain the following information: A. The project title and contract number. B. Specific goods for inspection. C. Quantity of goods for inspection. D. Venue, address for inspection site. And E. Proposed schedule of inspection, which must be at least 10 calendar days from the submission of the letter request. For the pre-delivery and pre-implementation conference shall be conducted prior to the inspection of goods by the designated DepEd Incorporated inspectorate team as may be necessary or applicable. Prior to and for purposes of inspection, the supplier shall ensure convenient access to the good for inspection. The supplier shall assign personnel to undertake and handling, unpacking, assembly, commissioning, disassembly, repacking, receiving, and sorting of goods prior to, during, and after inspection. DepEd shall have the right to visit and inspect the supplier's premises covered by the contract at any time or stage of contract implementation to monitor and assess the supplier's capacity to discharge its contractual obligation.
For inspection, goods with defects or non-compliant with the required technical specifications upon delivery shall be rejected, orally or in writing. The DepEd and replaced by the supplier in accordance with the warranty provision of this bidding document. The supplier should replace all rejected goods within 5 calendar days from its receipt of the notice of rejection from the recipient's schools. The replacement goods shall be subject to re-inspection. Goods are considered defective when they are unfit for the use for which it is intended or its fitness for such use is diminished to such an extent that, had the DepEd been aware thereof, it would not have acquired it or would have given a lower price for it. Defects in the goods can either be patent or latent. A patent defect is one that is apparent to the buyer or normal observation. It is an apparent or obvious defect. On the other hand, a latent defect is a one that is not apparent to the buyer by reasonable observation. A latent defect is hidden or one that is not immediately determinable. For warranty, a comprehensive and on-site warranty for 3 months for the goods will be applied. The said warranty period shall reckon from the date of issuance of the certificate of final acceptance by the DepEd that the delivered goods have been duly inspected and accepted. The obligation for the warranty shall be covered by retention money in an amount equivalent to 3% of the payment or a special bank guarantee equivalent to 3% of the contract price. In case the supplier option for retention money, the amount shall be released after the lapse of the entire warranty period, unless during the remainder of the warranty period, the retention money is substituted with a special bank guarantee as prescribed above. The special bank guarantee shall not contain any deletion, crossing out, expansion, or any form of correction. Otherwise, DepEd may reject such a security if any such intercalation, superimposition, or alteration affects any material information or feature of the document. List description of goods services. For lot number 2, number of pages including over. Primer for ELNA, 40 pages. Quantity is 41,000 copies. For primer NAT grade 6, 40 pages, 41,000 copies also. For primer NAT grade 10, 40 pages, 30,000 copies. Primer NAT grade 12, 40 pages, 12,000 copies. And the delivery period for this is September 4 to 25, 2023. For lot number 2, delivery of primers, 107,000 primers, and the delivery period po is September 26 to October 11, 2023. For contract duration, complete delivery shall be made within the contract duration stipulated below from the date of the receipt of notice to receipt or the NTP. Delivery sites, the goods shall be delivered in and inspected as stipulated in the allocation list in Annex C. Delivery of primers, Delivery of primers to central office, regional offices, and division offices shall be the responsibility of the winning forwarder or the courier. Forwarder or courier shall pick up the primers at warehouse. All boxes of primers released to the forwarder or courier must be received and witnessed by BEA and printers representatives. And for the statement of compliance po, it should have signed and it should have signed here po under printed name over and for technical specifications.
And for the technical specifications, this is also indicated on the Philippine Building Documents. Here is the illustration for the technical specification. And for the no contact rule, Section 32.1 of the IRR of RA 9184, members of the bank, including its staff and personnel, as well as its secretariat and TWG, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the bank, through its secretariat, may ask in writing the bidder for a clarification of its bid. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. And for the deadline for submission and opening of bids is September 4, 2023, 1:30 p.m. And the venue is also here at OU Pro Conference Room, 4th floor, Mabini Building, DepEd Complex, Narangao, Pasig City. Late bids shall not be accepted. For the deadline for letter of clarifications is until August 25, 2023, 5 p.m. Email to DepEd Central Bank Secretariat at deped.gov.ph. Note, please use your official business email in sending your queries and or clarification. And the floor is now open for queries. That's all.
Mr. Chair, I think it's if the members as well as they have questions as to the meeting matter.
If the
Questions?
For now, wala lang po, Mr. Chair. If we have, we'll put it already.
that's it po for our reading. Since wala naman po questions si respective leader.
For that number 2.
Just unspecified na lang po sa inyong submissions.
So, lahat po po
Yes. Isa lang po yung
lab 2.
wala na po as in, for the day po. Our reading po is open sa for queries, pero as per the respective supplier po, wala na po siyang questions. As of now po. So that's it po as in. Primers.
Para sa
Thinking
para sa exam po. Para sa MAT. No? Not. So not for this year, not for next year. No, next year. No, next year na lang. Next year.
Other matters, agenda, any motion?
Move to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Second the motion. Thank you, Asik. Kaya the forum. Mag-meeting po ba tayo? Mag-meeting. Salamat.
Yung sa March, usap na kami kay
Okay.